Think about what kind of kid you want to be. Hi, guests. This is Riley.
And Brycen.
Back with another episode of Goats in the Making, where we talk about game-changing stories of life, sports, and faith.
On today's episode, we're excited to introduce you to our very first Gator guest, Colby Halter. If you didn't know, we are both orange and blue fans through and through, and our dream one day is to play on the UF field when we're in college.
Colby Halter played for the University of Florida Gators baseball team during their 2023 season, where the team made a remarkable run to the College World Series and ultimately finished as the national runner-up. It was one of the coolest things to watch seeing the Gators that season. Known for his versatility and consistency, Halter played primarily as an infielder and was a key contributor to the Gators' success both offensively and defensively.
Colby attended Bishop Kenny High School in Jacksonville before committing to the University of Florida Gators as part of their 2021 class. He played 173 games while at UF with 163 starts. He piled up 14 homers, 31 doubles, 104 runs, 89 RBIs, and 17 steals over his career. After the amazing 2023 season, he was selected by the Oakland Athletics in the MLB draft. Colby has been giving back to the local community in Jax in the offseason with a successful camp at 2 years in the running now, which Riley and I both attended this year.
Colby, are there any other things our guests should know about you?
No, I think you guys covered it pretty good, so thanks for the nice introduction.
We'd like to start off by getting to know our guests with a few this or that and rapid-fire questions. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Beach or mountains?
I'm gonna have to go with the beach. Growing up in Jacksonville.
Favorite post-game meal?
Oh, I like a good steak. Can never go wrong with steak.
What was your favorite subject in school?
I really enjoyed reading and writing, so literature class is probably my favorite.
Favorite Bible verse? How do you live by?
Probably John 3:15. I grew up a big Tim Tebow fan, and he loved that one, and that was a good one. But motto I live by, probably to do everything. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So you want to work hard and try your best in everything and take that into everything you do in life.
Mine's Joshua 1:9. Be strong, courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord is with you wherever you go.
Fishing or golf?
Ooh, I like them both. I'll probably go with golf just because we could do that more on the road and stuff. So
Finish this thought. If I'm not at the baseball field, I'm probably.
if I'm not at the baseball field, I'm probably still thinking about baseball. Baseball is definitely a huge part of my life.
What is your favorite cake flavor?
Favorite cake? I like the ice cream cakes, probably cookies and cream.
What's your favorite baseball movie?
The Sandlot. I grew up watching that every day for probably 3 years straight.
What's one thing you want to try but haven't tried yet?
Hmm. One day I would like to try skydiving. I haven't done it yet. Probably wait till I'm done playing, but that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite spot on campus?
On campus?
Yeah.
Other than the baseball field, probably our dining hall we had my last 2 years. It was really cool, and we had like a bunch of massage chairs, stuff like that, and a lot of really good food. I like to eat.
We're going to move on and ask some questions about your baseball journey.
I'm good.
Playing for a team as talented as the Gators must have been an incredible experience. How important is teamwork and building chemistry with your teammates? And what do you think made the team special in 2023?
Yeah. I think that, being really close to the team and knowing that you guys have each other's backs is one of the most important things. We were a really good example of that. We came in my freshman year and we had a good core group of us. We kind of underperformed our freshman year, and a lot of looking back, I just think a lot of it had to do with like the leadership on our team and stuff like that. But as the years went on, like, our sophomore year, we did a little bit better. And I feel like we got really close as a group. And, we would have made a pretty good run that year. Ran into a really good team. They ended up going to the championship in Omaha as well. But then our junior year, everything kind of came together perfectly. And we had that group that had been building for 3 years, It doesn't happen overnight. And I think the results speak for themselves. But just when you're on the field and you know that everybody has each other's back and you're playing for the guy next to you, it's a huge difference and, something that you can really feel the difference. So yeah.
All right. What do you see when looking at the youth competitive baseball environment? Me and Brycen feel like most teams are so focused on winning, but they take away a lot of the fun of baseball. Is it different when you played?
I think that, winning is obviously ultimately really important at the every level you go, winning is important. But for me personally, I'm super competitive and some of my best teammates I've ever had are super competitive. So for me, I had a lot of fun trying to win and just competing. You're not always going to win, so you got to find stuff that's fun. But whatever it is I'm doing, whether it's ping pong, pool, golf, baseball, I'm always competing really hard, and that's what's fun to me. So I think that if you guys are playing ball for all the right reasons and just being competitive, then you will have fun.
Mm.
As a student athlete, balancing academics and baseball is probably tough. How did you balance schoolwork, baseball, and friendships at the same time?
Yeah, I think growing up, my parents did a really good job of telling me that before baseball was my job, my number one job was school and getting my grades. And when you take care of that, then you're allowed to do all the other stuff. Everything else is kind of extra icing on the cake. But school can open a lot of doors for you, and especially for me, like getting into the University of Florida is hard. So having good grades and stuff like that can really like bolster your opportunities in baseball as well. And just kind of like I said in the very beginning of the show, the way you do one thing is the way you do anything. So if you slack off in school and all this stuff, coaches see that and like, all right, well, what's he going to be like at the field? Is he going to work hard? Maybe not. So I try to do everything to the best of my ability, and you want to have a good reputation.
Mm. Being on such a high caliber team like the Florida Gators must have pushed you to learn and grow. The SEC is one of the toughest conferences in college baseball. How did you approach learning new skills or improving your game while competing at that level against elite competition? And what did you learn from playing against top tier teams?
Yeah, I think that, the SEC is definitely really good baseball. And especially at Florida, we have a super talented team. Everyone that goes there is very talented and is a really good player. So you kind of have to find the little things that are going to separate you. Like I said, for me, I think one of the most important things I did that I feel like I did well was just work as hard as I could at everything I did. Whether it's in the weight room, in the classroom, at the baseball field, and uh, you know, even at practice, right? So something that made our team so good is that everyone at practice was going as hard as they could all the time. We were trying to push each other and compete with each other to get better. And I don't know if you guys have heard the saying, iron sharpens iron, but it's definitely true. I remember countless times, me and Josh Rivera over there taking ground balls and all right, see who's gonna miss less, who's gonna mess up first, all this stuff, pushing each other. And that was, the whole team was doing that with each other. So if you can do that and compete against your teammates, then it's just gonna make everyone that much better.
Yeah, I go to the Florida baseball camp during the summer, and it's one of the best camps I go to.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And last summer, I went, and Josh Rivera was there.
Yeah, sweet. He's the man. Josh is a good one.
What's the most important thing you've learned during your baseball career? And was there a specific advice from a coach or a teammate that really stuck with you?
I think, I've learned a lot, but just the game of baseball in general, perseverance is kind of a theme that you can see. Baseball is a game of failure. If you fail 7 out of 10 times, you probably end up in the Hall of Fame one day at the plate. So you got to keep that in perspective. And there's going to be highs and lows in this game. If you keep playing for a long time, it's going to happen to you eventually. But just being perseverant and not letting things get you down for too long and not riding the roller coaster too bad. You got to have a lot of confidence. And there's going to be times when it's bad, but you got to keep pushing through them and get to the other side of that valley. to have the really, really good experiences. So I think that's definitely a big piece.
Great advice.
Yeah.
As a player on a national runner-up team, there must have been a lot of expectations. How did you deal with the pressure, and what would you tell young players about handling high-pressure situations, especially when things don't go perfectly?
Right. At Florida, every single year in the preseason, we were always ranked pretty high. And I remember my freshman year, we were ranked #1 overall to start the year. And that's a big target on your back, especially for every team you play. They're going to come in wanting to play their best baseball. But as time went on and I was there a little bit longer, I kind of realized that, all that outside noise means really nothing at all. And all that matters is, the core group. And that's something we did good on my last year. We really weren't listening to any of the media or anything like that. We were just focused on getting a little bit better every day and pushing each other, like I said. And that's when the best results come. And, yeah, definitely everything's not going to be perfect all the time. But when you can fall back and look back on the hard work that you've done, preparing yourself, and that's when, you can have like true confidence that, okay, I'm doing everything I can to be the best player I can. I'm just going to go out there and compete against the guy on the field against me. So that for me, that's a huge thing. Just knowing that I've done everything I can and really builds confidence.
Hmm. Baseball can be intense, but it's also fun. Do you have any favorite memories or funny moments from your time at Florida, either with your teammates or on the field, that you'll always remember?
Yeah, I've got a ton, especially when you play the game for a long time, that you remember the games and you remember playing with your teammates, and those are awesome. But there's a lot of fun stuff that goes on off the field too. You spend, especially in college, I feel like you spend every single day with your team and your coaching staff. So they become like family. You probably spend more time with them than you do your real family, especially, when you're living away from home and stuff like that. So there's countless things. A specific story. Okay. All right. Here we go. Ready? So when you go to Mississippi State, they have a thing called the Left Field Lounge, and there's a bunch of people grilling out barbecue, and they're making ribs, steaks, all this stuff. So we were in BP before the game, and one of the fans is like, "Hey, my roommate Ryan Slater, hey, come take these ribs, get some ribs." And at first he was like, "I don't want to do that," but then our equipment manager's like, "Come on, go take the ribs. That's rude if you don't take them." So they hand him down a rack of ribs, and he's eating them. And we get back in the dugout, and Sully wasn't very happy about him eating the ribs. So he got in a little bit of trouble. And then after the series, we ended up sweeping Mississippi State. And so, like, a big tradition is to go out in left field and you get a bunch of food after, because, all weekend they're pretty tough on you. They're not an easy crowd to play in front of. But we ended up winning the series and going out there after and getting a bunch of meat. And so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can youth athletes lead their teammates and create a positive environment both on and off the field?
Yeah, I think a big thing that my dad always preached to me growing up was to lead by example. You can be a vocal leader, you can lead by example, but I think all really good leaders do a little bit of both. If you are not taking care of your business and doing things right, then how can you expect to lead anyone else, right? So I think starting with yourself, just making sure that you're doing everything right, and then your teammates see that and they'll look up to you and follow your example. And I think that's a really good way to lead people, especially as a young youth athlete, you can do that. I tried to do that my whole career, and honestly, it helps you out as well, right? If you're taking care of all your business so you can lead others, it's going to make you better.
Hmm. I heard this video on Instagram. I think it's the Savannah Bananas. They posted a video about bar raisers. Each shortstop pushes each other during practice, so they would get better and better.
Definitely. Yeah.
Time for a little segment we like to call home run or strikeout. We're going to ask you a series of topics, and you're going to decide if they're home run or if they're strikeout.
If it's
Sounds
a
good.
strikeout, it's a bad thing, and if it's a home run, it's a good thing.
Okay. Let's do it.
Socks with sandals or slides.
Oh, that's a strikeout.
Ben Hill Griffin Stadium on a fall Saturday.
Oh, that is a home run. That's a grand slam.
Mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Home run for sure. I'm a big fan.
Being on planes and in the car.
Mm, I think it depends where you're going, but I guess I'll go home run.
Roller coasters.
I'm gonna go home run too. I wasn't as big of a fan when I was little, but I've grown to like them for sure.
I really like roller coasters for sure.
Yeah.
Pineapple on pizza.
That's my favorite pizza topping. So home run.
Social media.
I think there's good and bad to it, but if you use it right, home run for sure. It can do a lot of good things for you.
Yeah. Banana ball.
I've never been to see a game personally, but I have a buddy, Ty Jackson, who plays, and he's always been super entertaining. So I'll go home run.
Yeah. That guy is cool. I
Yeah, he
like him.
is.
Mhm. Pre-game routines or superstitions?
I'm gonna say as long as you don't let them mess with your head too much, they're good. They're a lot of fun, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't have my own. So home run.
Before we end the night, we want an award based on what we love about you.
We would want to give you the Game Changing Gator Guide Award because you are a passionate athlete whose love for the Florida Gators and commitment to teaching have left a permanent mark on your fans. This award celebrates your support and influence on the next generation of Gator fans and players.
Your dedication to developing young athletes has not only improved their skills, but also fostered a shared passion for the game and the Gators. This award celebrates your exceptional guidance, making you a beloved figure to us and so many other youth players that look up to you.
I really appreciate that, guys. Thanks so much. It means a lot. Really nice to hear that.
All right, time to flip the script. Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, let's see. What is your favorite Gator game that you've ever been to?
Oh yeah, so I went to this one. So Jack had me on. I think this was like 2023.
Hmm.
So I was sitting in the outfield, and he hit a home run, and I got his ball, and I got it signed.
There you go. That's awesome.
So, I haven't been able to get tickets for a Gators game yet, but my favorite football
Right.
game I've gone to for the Gators is probably, wait, I know
You
there
got
was
it.
one, I don't remember when it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. All right, right. I got a different question for you. Ready? What was your favorite part of Colby Halter baseball camp this year? And who was your favorite counselor? Not me. Anyone else?
Um, I liked the hitting and the pitching.
Mm-hmm.
I like all of them. I can't choose one.
All of them. All right, that's good.
My favorite counselor was, well, it's hard. I like Kirby. Kirby.
Kirby. There you go.
The
Good stuff.
but infield is also fun,
Oh,
and
Right.
fun.
I I'm not gonna say a favorite. I like all of them.
All right, awesome.
Before we sign off, what would be one thing you want to tell your 10-year-old self?
Hmm. My 10-year-old self. I'd say I wouldn't change anything in my career. I'd tell myself just to keep working hard, and do my best every single day and have fun playing all types of different sports. That is one thing I miss, not playing pro baseball. I grew up playing football, basketball, baseball, everything. So do that as long as you can. It's so much fun. And I think that, you learn different skills in different sports. And, you might be the best player on your baseball team, right? And then go to football and maybe you're not the best player. So you learn what it's like to be a different teammate. And that experience can go a long way too. So I'd say just have fun playing every day and, keep going. That's it.
I'm starting lacrosse this season, so
That would be awesome. Yeah. Good
yeah,
stuff.
sounds fun.
No doubt.
A huge thank you to Colby for coming on the show tonight. We appreciate you spending time with us. And honestly, this interview will stay with us forever because you're our first Gator guest ever. This one really
There
means
you
a
go.
lot to us.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for having me on, guys. And it's been a blast. You guys do an awesome job. I'm blown away. It's really impressive. So keep working hard and keep doing it. I think you're doing a great thing.
Thank you so much.
No doubt.
This is Brycen.
And Riley,
Thank you for joining us for this episode, and until next time.
think about what kind of kid you want to be.